Hey, joyful souls. Thank you for tuning in today. This podcast has been so encouraging, and I hope it continues to be. Today I am visiting with Sarina Kinnunen. How are you, Sarina?
I'm doing really well, thank you.
Yeah, and you are over in South Dakota. What's the weather like over there?
Yep. We have quite a bit of snow on the ground, and it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
So,
It came fast, huh?
yeah, way too fast this year.
I just have to say that I love your governor. She is pretty awesome.
Yeah, Christy, no. We all support her and her decisions.
Good. How about you tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm Sarina, and I've lived in South Dakota most of my life, probably since I was 4. And I live with my family, my husband, and our 5 kids. We live on a 26-acre homestead. We kind of like to just have like the country living, and we have gardens and spend a lot of time outside and working on projects. I also do like event design, and I have a blog where I share about my like creative ideas and holidays and recipes and just anything to inspire other moms.
I love that. And that is called Joy in the Commonplace.
Yep, that's my blog.
What made you decide to create that?
Well, I wanted to have an outlet as a mom. I really enjoyed doing parties for my kids when they were little. So for my first daughter, when she was born, her name's Katri, I started out by doing little parties and having friends and family over. And I just decided to start sharing about it, and it's kind of grown a little bit since. And I'm not sure where it's going, but I'm kind of excited to see where God takes it.
Yeah, absolutely. The stuff that you create is so good. However you put it all together, it must just come natural.
I think it's just, doing it over time and experience and just trying new things. Definitely there's things I have to push myself and just take a risk and try something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you share with us a time or times in your life that you were challenged to find joy?
Yes, I would say that a time in my life would have been when I went through miscarriages. My first pregnancy was a miscarriage, and then our first daughter was born like a year later after that. So I did get pregnant pretty quick after that. But then I had 2 miscarriages between my first daughter and my second daughter. So that was kind of a challenging time. Just wondering, if I would continue having more. Obviously, we have 5 beautiful children, so God's worked out the details.
Right.
I just wanted to say that, like, through that, I did, deal with a grief process that I had to realize, even though the babies were not developed very far along, it was always under 12 weeks, like, you still felt the grief and the loss and wondering, like, what it would have been like to have that child and things like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What did you put your hope in during those times?
My hope was always in God. I just would pray and read the Bible and, talk to my husband or, trusted friends if needed. I think just sharing what you're dealing with is always helpful.
Absolutely. Did your husband experience any pain through it all? I mean, I'm sure, of course, it was painful, but were you at the same level, or, some people grieve faster than others, if you want to share?
Right. Yeah, I do believe they affected him in his own way. Obviously, he had a different experience since I was the one more personally connected, but he felt a lot of sadness through it too. He's not as vocal about it as me, maybe, but definitely he felt like what I was feeling and just the empathizing with me about it.
Yeah, that would be tough. The whole excitement of being pregnant, and then, I can't imagine, really. We have one child, and she's 8, so we've been trying for quite a few years.
Okay.
But yeah, that's to talk about for another day. Do you have a Bible verse that stays close to your heart?
There is a verse that always comes back to me, and I actually shared it on my blog, Joy in the Commonplace. It says, "He will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them." And that's Psalm 145:19.
That's so true. He will hear our cries. He knows everything about us.
Very true.
He knows everything that we're longing for and trying to seek. But it's so good that we can fall back on him and his word, and, we want to follow him. So I think he really
Very true.
loves that. Is there a book that has made an impact in your life?
Yes, there is. Recently, in the last year or two, I read the book Boundaries by Dr. John Townsend and Dr. Henry Cloud. Basically, this book is about learning to set boundaries with yourself and in relationships with others, and just to have healthy relationships. And I really learned a lot. Like, it's okay to express your feelings and to just, realize how to relate with other people. And I didn't know a lot of that information when I read it at first.
Yeah, that's actually really tough. Sometimes we just isolate ourselves, or we feel like we're not worth sharing our story. We don't want to express it to other people. We don't want to feel like we are almost like we want people to feel bad for us. That sounds like a really good book because it can be hard to do. Do you feel like it helped you open up more?
I definitely do. And I think the biggest thing I learned was I had to just, take space for myself to feel what I feel. Because, you really just have to, admit that you feel a certain thing, and then you can kind of heal or grow.
Right. And we can learn so much from other people, hey?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely meant to have relationships, even though it's sometimes a challenge, to learn communication and all those things.
Yeah, it is. Is there something that you do daily to find peace?
Yes, I would say reading the Bible has been the book that I always read to just get to know God and find out the truth, because, sometimes it feels like the world is just uncertain. Like, you don't know what's next, especially nowadays, how it's been with, the coronavirus and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just to trust God and know that he has a plan, even though we might not see the full plan.
Exactly. Yes. Sometimes we think that it should be our way or we want this, but really God has a bigger plan. We think, why is it going this way? But we just have to believe.
Very true.
I'm thrilled to hear about your Joy in the Commonplace. Do your kids help you out?
They're often involved. Sometimes I'll do little, Christmas or holiday activities where they can help with crafts or kids snacks, or, just little things where they can kind of get involved, and often they're in my pictures for my blog. So
yes, I actually saw, I think you're two little girls in quite a few of them.
Oh, yep.
I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have a healthy habit that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would say that exercise, whether it's running or I have an elliptical machine, I do that daily if possible. It's usually about 10 minutes because I don't have a lot of extra time, but I feel like it just really grounds me emotionally, physically, all of the above, spiritually. And it's just good to clear your mind and just have that time to yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so good to just move your body, hey?
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Even 10 minutes.
Yep, for sure.
Do you have any last words of encouragement or stories that you'd like to share with the listeners?
As a mom, I've realized how important it is to take time for yourself. I just want to encourage moms that if you have a hobby or something you enjoy, pursue it when you get time, during nap time. Things that you your passions, you still have those even though you also are a mom, and you have both, or you can have both, and it just feels like it's possible, but then it's also kind of a balance, trying to figure out what's going to work with your family. But yeah, I definitely think it's just good to have a creative outlet. That's been what's been helpful for me through any challenging times, just having something to create.
Right, yeah, for sure. The joy that it brings you, it probably overfills, or it fills your cup, of what you're needing.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like what I do is it all stems from God. Hopefully people can see God through what I do. He gets the glory. I am myself, I'm not overly strong of a person, but when you're weak, he's strong, and he will answer your prayers and bring about things. You just have to trust the journey that he has brought you on.
That is so well said. Have you felt as a mom that, sometimes as a mom we feel like we're not enough. So it's almost
Right.
like we feel like we should be doing more. But I feel like when we just go to the Word and read, God will really open up our eyes to what He wants us to do. Go to Him and He will open our eyes. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah, I know what you mean about sometimes feeling like, do I have enough to be a mom to these kids or whatever? And definitely there's times where I make mistakes. I think all moms understand that, like where it's like, it's tough sometimes. We have challenging times. We need God through it all.
Well, you are beyond blessed, Sarina, and I really hope the journey with, having more children goes good. In the end, it's God is in control. I really like how you said all glory goes to God. I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story and your words of wisdom. You truly are an inspiration. Where can the listeners check you out if they want to look at your website?
It would be www.joyinthecommonplace.com. And I share my blog posts on there, and I also have a services page if people live in the local area of South Dakota, specifically near Watertown, South Dakota. I am offering services there too.
That's awesome. That's great. Thank you so much. Be sure to share this episode with a friend who needs to be encouraged today. God bless you all.